The moment Evelyn slid that check across the white tablecloth at the Ritz-Carlton, I swear the clink of her diamond bracelet against the saucer was louder than the entire string quartet. Playing in the corner, $50,000, made out to me Dot in her perfect, slanted handwriting that looked like it belonged on a country club invitation. She didn't even blink. Just stirred her mimosa with one finger and said, soft as Sunday morning, "Take it, darling. Walk away clean. Marcus will never have to know how generously we handled this." I stared at the numbers until they blurred. 50,000. That's what 24 years of marriage, 2 children, and every Christmas I hosted in my home was worth to Evelyn Harrington, my mother-in-law. Smiled like she'd just offered me a second helping of Eggs Benedict. I picked up the check with both hands, slow. The way you pick up a dead bird you don't want to hurt anymore. Then I tore it in half, and again, until nothing but expensive confetti snowed onto her salmon plate. Her mouth opened, just a little. That was the first time in 24 years I'd ever seen Evelyn Harrington look surprised. I already had my phone recording under the table. I flipped it around, showed her the screen, and hit send to the family group chat titled Harrington and Co., the one with all 4 of her children, their spouses, and her precious country club friends she'd added for birthday reminders. Caption, "Your inheritance is safe. Evelyn, I'm keeping the sun." Then I stood up, smoothed my dress, and walked out past the valet before she could find her voice. That was 6 months ago. Let me take you back to how we even got to that table. Because, honey, the road to that brunch was paved with sweet tea, fake smiles, and 24 years of me swallowing every bitter thing that woman ever fed me. Normal. Life, the setup, continuing straight into the warm, grounded years. People always say Marcus and I were high school sweethearts. That's only half true, We started dating senior year. But Evelyn decided I was temporary the first time. I showed up to their Easter brunch in a sundress from Target instead of Lily Pulitzer. Marcus was her youngest. Her baby, the only one who went to medical school like she wanted. The older 3 gave her lawyers and a daughter who married old money. Marcus was supposed to be her crown jewel. I was the girl from the trailer park who somehow tricked him into love, at least. That's how Evelyn told it at every garden club meeting for the first decade. But Marcus loved me hard. Still does. We got married at 22 in the little Baptist church my grandma cleaned every Saturday. Evelyn wore black to the wedding. Said it was slim cut mourning for her son's future. I laughed it off back then. You laugh at a lot when you're young and stupid in love. We build a life anyway. A pretty little red brick house in Charlotte with hydrangeas I planted myself. 2 babies in 4 years. Harper, now 22, and Grayson, 19. I quit my teaching job when Grayson was born and started doing the school PTA. The soccer snacks, the teacher gifts, the thank you notes Evelyn never sent when I hosted her bridge club. Cooked Thanksgiving for 22 people every single year. I ironed Marcus's scrubs when he was on 36-hour shifts. I smiled when Evelyn told the ladies at the club that Marcus married down but were making the best of it. I swallowed it. All of it. Because my mama taught me you keep peace in a marriage by keeping peace with the in-laws. Marcus never saw half of it. He'd come home exhausted from the hospital, kiss my forehead and say, "Mom loves you, babe. She's just old school." And I'd nod, because I loved him more than I hated being disrespected. But something shifted about 2 years ago. Right after Grayson left for college, the comments got sharper, the backhanded compliments got louder. Evelyn started pulling Marcus aside after Sunday dinners, whispering, I'd catch pieces. "She's spending too much on the house. She's keeping you from the lake house." More, "She never did fit in with the girls at the Viz club." Then the pandemic hit, Marcus. was on the front lines. I was home alone, cooking for neighbors, dropping groceries on doorsteps, crying in the shower because I was terrified he'd bring COVID home and kill me or the kids. Evelyn called once a week to remind me how brave her son was and how I needed to support him better. I started to notice the silences on Marcus's end of the phone after he talked to her. The way he'd rub his forehead like it hurt, but I told myself it was stress. Just stress. The first clue, the suspicion, begins continuing with outbreak. It started with a lake house. Evelyn and her late husband had a 6-bedroom place on Lake Norman. We used to go every Memorial Day and Labor Day, whole family, kids skiing, me making potato salad and wiping little bottoms. After Grayson left for Clemson, Evelyn started saying the lake house was too much work for her to open unless everyone was coming. Then last spring, Marcus came home from a solo trip up there and said, "Mom thinks maybe we should start thinking about downsizing the lake house. Sell it before the market cools." I laughed. "Your mom sell the lake house? She'd be buried in the backyard with her Lily Pulitzer caftans first." But Marcus didn't laugh. He just said, "She's getting older, babe." 2 weeks later, Evelyn invited only Marcus to brunch. Just the two of them. He came home quiet. Said she was worried about his retirement, about providing for the family long term. I asked if everything was okay. He kissed my forehead again. God, I hate that kiss now, and said, "Everything's fine. Mom's just thinking about the future." Then the strange little things started stacking up. Evelyn stopped asking me to host Easter. She started texting Marcus directly about family plans instead of the group chat. She sent Harper a graduation gift, but addressed the card to Miss Harper Harrington only. My name wasn't even on the envelope. And then came the brunch invitation, just me and her. The Ritz-Carlton. Saturday at 11. She said, "We should have some girl time. Just us." I should have known. Lord, I should have known. Asterisk. I dressed like I was going to a funeral that morning, not because I knew what was coming, but because whenever Evelyn requested just us girls, I armored up. Navy sheath dress, pearls Marcus gave me for our 20th anniversary, hair in a low bun so tight it gave me a headache. I even wore the nude heels she once said made my legs look less teacher, more lady. Marcus kissed me goodbye at the door. "You sure you don't want me to come?" He asked for the 3rd time. I laughed it off. "It's just brunch with your mom, baby. Go save lives." I wish I'd dragged him with me. I got to the Ritz 10 minutes early. Southern women are never late to a battlefield. Closing parenthesis. Evelyn was already seated at the corner table by the window, sunlight pouring over her like she'd paid extra for it. White linen suit, fresh highlights, diamonds flashing every time she lifted her mimosa. She air-kissed both my cheeks. Smelled like Chanel No. 5 and Judgment. "You look tidy," she said. That was as close to a compliment as I ever got. We ordered. Got the berry parfait because it's small, and I figured I might need to leave fast. She got the eggs Benedict and a side of superiority. For 20 minutes, she talked about the club's new tennis pro, Harper's new boyfriend. He's a Vanderbilt, did she tell you? And how Grayson really should transfer to Duke if he wanted to amount to anything. I smiled, nodded, sipped my water. Then she reached into her Birkin, slow, deliberate, like a magician about to pull out a rabbit, and slid the check across the table. $50,000. I stopped breathing. She kept her voice low, syrupy, the way she talks when she's telling the maid how to polish silver properly. Marcus is exhausted. "Darling," she said. He's 48 years old and still carrying the weight of a marriage that never should have happened. You know, he only stayed because of the children. They're grown now. It's time. I looked down at the check again. My name spelled correctly. The date. Her signature in that same perfect slant dot. My voice came out smaller than I wanted. You're paying me to divorce your son. I'm paying you to set him free, she corrected, gentle as a serpent. You'll never have to work another PTA bake sale. You can take that little teaching certificate and go wherever people like you go. Marcus will be grateful in the long run. Men always are when you remove the burden. The waiter came by with more champagne. She waved him away without breaking eye contact with me. I asked the question I already knew the answer to. Does Marcus know you're doing this? She smiled. Actually smiled. Of course not. That's why it's generous. He'll never have to be the bad guy. You'll simply realize you've grown apart. You'll tell him you need to find yourself. Women your age do that now, don't they? Midlife crisis, new haircut, yoga retreat in Costa Rica. Whatever story you need to tell yourself. I felt the rage start somewhere behind my eyes, hot and red, but I didn't give it to her yet. I picked up the check again, turned it over like I was considering it. She leaned forward, eyes shining. She thought she'd won. That's when I tore it. Slow, deliberate rip, little. Pieces fluttering down onto her hollandaise like snow dot. Her face went through stages. Shock. Confusion, then pure ice. I already had my phone in my left hand under the table, recording video from the moment she slid the check over. I'd started it the second she reached into her purse. Call it instinct. Call it 24 years of finally growing eyes in the back of my head. Flipped the phone around so she could see herself on the screen, mouth open. Salmon untouched. Confetti check in her plate. I hit send. The family group chat lit up before she even found words. Harper. What the hell is this? Grayson. Grandma did what? Marcus's sister Claire. Mother. Call me. Right now. Even Evelyn's precious country club friend Bitsy texted the chat. Evelyn Harrington, I cannot believe this. I stood up, smoothed my dress. You know what, Evelyn? Keep your money. I've been paying for this family with my silence for 24 years. Today the bill comes due. She finally spoke, voice shaking for the first time ever. You will regret this. No, darling, I said, throwing her own word back at her. You just spent $50,000 to find out I'm not for sale. And now the whole family knows exactly what you think Marcus's marriage is worth. I walked out, heels clicking on marble like gunshots. The valet had my car waiting. I don't even remember driving home. I just remember crying so hard I had to pull over on Providence Road because I couldn't see. When I walked into our house, Marcus was standing in the kitchen still in his scrubs, phone in his hand. Face white. Babe, he said, voice cracking. What the hell just happened? I looked at my husband, the man I'd loved since I was 17, and realized the betrayal wasn't just his mother's dot, it was his silence all these years too. Asterisk. The group chat was exploding. Screenshot after screenshot of Evelyn's shredded check. My caption, Harper screaming in all caps. Grayson sending vomiting emojis next to his grandmother's name. Someone had already made it a group meme with the caption, when Grandma tries to buy out the trailer park. Marcus looked up at me, eyes red. Baby. Mom just called me crying. She said you ambushed her. That you're trying to turn the kids against her. I laughed. I couldn't help it. It came out sharp and ugly and nothing like me. Ambushed her? I dropped my purse on the island so hard the bowl of apples jumped. Marcus, she paid $50,000 to erase me from your life like I'm a stain on her Persian rug. He kept shaking his head, the way he does when a patient codes and he can't accept it yet. She swears it was a misunderstanding, that she was trying to help us financially, that you twisted it. I stared at him, really stared. 20-4 years of this man sleeping beside me, fathering my children, holding my hand through 2 miscarriages and 1 cancer scare. And in that moment, I saw it clear as day. He was never going to choose me over her. Not fully. Not when it counted. I walked past him, up the stairs into our bedroom, and started pulling suitcases out of the closet. He followed me, panic rising. What are you doing? Leaving, I said, calm, folding my favorite cardigan like I was packing for a church retreat. She won your war, Marcus. She just didn't expect me to burn the whole damn battlefield on my way out. He grabbed my wrist. Gentle, always gentle. Please don't do this. We'll fix it. I'll talk to her. I'll make her apologize. I looked down at his hand on my skin and felt nothing but tired. You've been talking to her for 24 years, baby. And every time she called me white trash in a whisper, you told me I was too sensitive. Every time she implied our children were only half Harrington because of me, you said she was old. Every time she rewrote our life story to strangers, you let her. I'm all out of sensitivity. He started crying then. Real tears. The kind I'd only seen twice before. When Harper was born and when his daddy died, I almost broke. Almost. But I thought of that. Check. $50,000. That's what she priced my dignity at. I zipped the suitcase. That night I stayed at the Embassy Suites off Tivoli. Harper showed up at 10 p.m. with Chick-fil-A and Fury. Mom, I'm never speaking to Grandma again. I hope you drained her bank account. Grayson FaceTimed from Clemson sobbing because his girlfriend just broke up with him over the drama. She said our family is toxic. Mom, I sat on that stiff hotel bed eating waffle fries and realized something that should have terrified me but didn't. I felt free for the first time since I was 17 years old. The next 3 weeks were a masterclass in Harrington. Damage control. Evelyn told anyone who would listen that I faked the check, photoshopped it, even that I was having a nervous breakdown and trying to extort money. Marcus begged me to come home. Sent flowers. Left voicemails that made me cry in the grocery store parking lot. I didn't answer. Not once. Instead, I did something I'd never done in my entire life. I went full nuclear. Southern Lady style. I made a private Facebook album titled Memories with Evelyn. Password protected. But I invited every single woman she'd ever gossiped about me to inside. Every email she ever sent criticizing my parenting. Every Christmas where she rewrapped the gifts. I bought the kids and put her name on them. The voicemail from 2018 where she told me I was getting thick around the middle and Marcus deserved better. And the crown jewel, the original video from the brunch. Full 4K, sound crystal clear. Check sliding across the table in slow motion. I captioned it. For 24 years, I protected this family's image. Today, I'm protecting mine. Then I sat back and watched the South implode. The country club suspended her membership pending review. Her bridge group dissolved. 2 of her oldest friends unfollowed her on Facebook and sent me edible arrangements. Marcus showed up at the hotel on a Wednesday night with divorce papers, unsigned, and said, Mom's in the hospital. Chest pains. She's asking for you. I looked him dead in the eye and said, tell her the price just went up. He left crying again. I didn't feel cruel. I felt awake. The hospital room smelled like antiseptic and Lila's dying in a vase. Evelyn was sitting up in bed, pale, smaller than I'd ever seen her, wrapped in a silk robe the color of old pearls. When I walked in, she actually flinched. Marcus stood up from the corner chair like he'd been electrocuted. Babe, thank you for coming. Mom wants to. I raised one hand. He sat back down. I walked to the foot of her bed, slow, the way you approach a snake that might still have venom left. Evelyn tried to speak first. Voice raspy, weak. I suppose you've come to gloat. No, Evelyn, I said, calm as Sunday morning. I came to give you what you paid for. I reached into my purse and pulled out an envelope. Inside was a cashier's check for exactly $50,000 made out to her favorite charity, the one she used to brag about chairing every year. I laid it on her blanket. That's every dime I had in my private savings account. The one I built from tutoring, selling cakes, doing wedding calligraphy on the side while you told everyone I was a kept woman. I'm returning your evaluation of me plus 24 years of interest and dignity. Her fingers shook as she touched the envelope. Marcus started crying again. Quiet this time. I kept my eyes on her. You wanted me gone so bad you priced my life? So here's the receipt. I'm gone from your club, your gossip, your family photos, your lake house, your everything. But I'm keeping Marcus, the children, the friends I made on my own, and the name you never thought I deserved. You don't get to buy my exit and still keep my place at the table. She opened her mouth, closed it. For the first time in my life, Evelyn Harrington had nothing to say. I turned to Marcus. I'll be at the house tonight. If you want to come home to your wife instead of your mother's version of you, the door will be unlocked until midnight. After that, I'm changing the locks and filing. Then I walked out. He was home by 9:17 p.m. He didn't bring a single excuse with him. Just fell on his knees in our kitchen, face in my stomach, sobbing like a child. I let him cry it all out, every apology he should have made years ago. Every time he chose silence over me, every time he let her rewrite our story. When he was done, I told him the new rules. Your mother's never in this house again unless she calls me herself and apologizes. On her own mouth. Therapy. Both of us. Every week until the counselor says we're safe. The lake house is in our name only now. Your daddies will always said it could go to the spouse who needed it most. I need it most. He signed everything I put in front of him without reading it. 3 weeks later, Evelyn called me herself. She didn't apologize at first. She started with, I'm told I had a mild heart attack brought on by stress. I waited. Then her voice cracked just once. I was wrong. I was cruel. I thought I was protecting him. I see now I almost destroyed him. And you. I let the silence sit for a long time. Finally, I said, thank you for saying that out loud. I accept your apology. But forgiveness isn't a light switch, Evelyn. It's a long road. You can walk it or not. That's up to you. She started coming to Sunday dinners again 6 months. Later, she sits at the far end of the table now. She brings store-bought pie instead of criticizing mine. She calls me by my first name instead of Marcus's wife. Some Sundays she still flinches when I pass the salt. I let her. Harper got married last month. Evelyn sat in the third row. On my side of the aisle, she cried during the vows. Real tears this time, after the reception. She found me outside by the gardenias. She pressed something into my hand. A new check, this time for $250,000 made out to the scholarship fund I started in my mama's name for girls from trailer parks who want to be teachers. She said, voice shaking, I believe in compound interest. I hugged her. First time in 25 years. She was stiff as a board, then melted like a child. Marcus and I renewed our vows on our 25th anniversary. Just us, the kids. And my brother, who walked me down the aisle the first time. We did it in the backyard under the hydrangeas I planted with my own hands. I wore the same dress from 1999, taken in because I'm stronger now. Marcus cried when he saw me. During the vows, he added his own line. Unscripted, I choose you, Renee, every day. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. I believed him. We still go to therapy every Thursday. Some nights he still sleeps on the couch when the shame gets too loud. Most nights he reaches for me in the dark and I let him. I learned something the day Evelyn tried to buy me out of my own life. Love isn't the absence of evil people. It's the presence of someone willing to stand in the fire with you when the evil shows up. Marcus stood in it. Burned off 24 years of cowardice. Came out the other side mine. And me? I came out the other side whole. So if you're sitting there tonight with a mother-in-law who treats you like a temporary inconvenience, or a husband who won't choose you out loud, or a family that priced your worth and came up short here, you are not the price they set. You are the one who decides what you're willing to pay to keep your soul intact. I paid with silence for 24 years. Then I paid with fire for one afternoon. I got everything back plus interest. That's my story. Baby, if you've ever been offered a check to disappear from your own life, tell me in the comments. Did you tear it up too? Or are you still holding it, trying to decide? Either way, I'm proud of you for still being here. You're worth more than they'll ever know. See you in the next one. And don't forget, sometimes the best revenge is becoming the woman they were terrified you'd turn into all along.